I'll be honest with you, I didn't believe this myself at first. As a surgeon, I've spent my entire career trusting the body's mechanics, and this idea genuinely sounded too simple to matter. But here's what started it. Getting out of bed each morning had quietly become slower, less automatic than it used to be. Not dramatic, just different. A small hesitation before swinging my legs over the side. If you're over 70, sit with that for a second, because this could be happening to you too, right now, without you fully registering it. Like most people, I assumed staying active and walking regularly would be enough to keep this from progressing. But here's the uncomfortable realization. Walking alone may not actually rebuild strength that's already been lost, especially in the specific muscles responsible for getting you up and moving in the first place. So I started looking into something different, exercising before the body ever has to carry its own weight, while you're still lying down, before gravity and balance even enter the picture. What happened next genuinely surprised me. A handful of simple movements done consistently produced a difference I didn't expect at all. Today, I'm walking you through 5 bed exercises, ranked from number 5 down to the most important, number 1. And I'll tell you now, number 3 is almost embarrassingly easy, and yet it may matter more than your daily walk. Before we start, tell me in the comments, how old are you and where are you watching from? Number 5 is the seated knee extension, and I want to frame this correctly right from the start. This isn't a minor throwaway exercise. It's genuinely important for your independence. The target here is your quadriceps, the large muscles running along the front of your thigh, and they're doing far more work than most people realize every single day. Weak quadriceps are directly behind the struggle to get out of a low chair, rise off the toilet, climb out of bed, or make it up a flight of stairs without gripping the railing for dear life. And here's something worth understanding: walking places relatively low demand on your quadriceps compared to these specific tasks, which is exactly why someone can walk regularly and still struggle with these movements. Knee extension, on the other hand, directly and specifically challenges this muscle group. Research on resistance training in older adults has consistently shown meaningful strength gains, even in people well into their 80 seconds and 90 seconds, which genuinely should give every one of you real hope here. Here's how to do it properly. Sit in a sturdy chair or even in bed with your back supported, and slowly straighten one leg out in front of you until it's fully extended. Pause for a full 2 seconds at the top, then lower it back down slowly and with control, resisting the urge to just let it drop. Repeat for 8 to 12 reps on each leg for 2 to 3 sets. As this gets easier, add more repetitions, then eventually a light ankle weight for real resistance. If this is landing for you, hit subscribe now, because number 4 is where things start getting genuinely interesting. Number 4 brings us to a muscle group most people never think about: the hamstrings. Running along the back of your thigh. Here's a moment worth sitting with. Has your knee ever suddenly buckled or given way unexpectedly while walking? That's often tied directly to hamstring weakness, not just your quadriceps. Your hamstrings are what slow your body down, help you stop safely, and stabilize your knee joint against sudden shifts in direction. Studies on falls in older adults consistently point to weakness in this exact muscle group as a major contributing factor, and falls remain one of the leading causes of serious injury after 65, which is precisely why this deserves real attention. The bed actually gives you an advantage here, since lying flat reduces the load on your spine compared to standing versions of this movement. Here's how to do it. Lie on your stomach, then slowly bend one knee, bringing your heel up toward your glutes. Pause briefly at the top, then lower it back down slowly, resisting gravity the entire way rather than letting it drop. That slow lowering phase is genuinely the hidden key here. It's where most of the real strength building actually happens. One common mistake to watch for: lifting your hips off the bed as you curl. This shifts the work away from your hamstrings and can unnecessarily stress your lower back instead. Keep your hips pressed down throughout. Aim for 8 to 12 reps per leg, 2 to 3 sets, adding a light ankle weight as it gets easier. This movement fills a gap that most senior exercise routines completely overlook. Number 3 is finally here, the one I teased earlier, and honestly, it looks like almost nothing, just squeezing a pillow between your knees. There's barely any visible movement at all, which is exactly what makes it so surprising when you learn what's actually happening underneath. This targets your inner thigh muscles, the adductors, and they play a far bigger role than people assume. They're responsible for stability, weight shifting from side to side while walking, and critically, catching you during a sideways fall, one of the most dangerous fall directions for hip fractures in older adults. Here's the contrast worth understanding. Walking barely engages these muscles at all since it's primarily a forward, front-to-back motion. Squeezing directly targets them in a way your daily walk simply never does. Research on hip fracture prevention consistently points to adductor and hip stability training as a meaningful protective factor. The technique couldn't be simpler. Lie down, place a pillow, rolled towel, or soft ball between your knees, and squeeze inward with real effort. Hold for 5 full seconds. That hold is genuinely the key technique here, not the squeeze itself. Release slowly and repeat. One important note, don't hold your breath while squeezing, since breath holding unnecessarily spikes your blood pressure. Breathe normally throughout. Do 10 to 15 squeezes, 2 to 3 sets. Low effort, genuinely meaningful potential benefit. If you're finding this valuable, subscribe now, because number 2 takes things even further. Number 2 shifts our focus to arguably one of the most important muscle groups for aging well, your glutes. Weak glutes are directly tied to falls, hip instability, and a genuine loss of independence. And studies show fall-related hip fractures carry mortality rates as high as 20 to 30% within a year in older adults. That statistic alone should get your attention. Here's a very modern problem contributing to this: prolonged sitting throughout the day genuinely reduces glute activation over time. The consequence is what researchers call gluteal amnesia, where these muscles essentially become less active, and other muscles, particularly your lower back, start compensating for work the glutes should be doing. The prone leg lift is essentially a way to wake these muscles back up. Here's the technique. Lie face down, and before lifting anything, actively squeeze your glute muscle first. Only then, lift one leg a few inches off the bed, keeping your knee straight. Height genuinely matters far less than correct activation. A small, controlled lift with a strong squeeze beats a big, sloppy one every time. Research on hip extensor training consistently shows this pre-contraction technique improves activation significantly. Watch for the major mistake here: arching your lower back or lifting the leg too high, which shifts the work away from your glutes entirely and back onto your spine. Keep it controlled and low. Aim for 10 to 15 reps per leg, 2 to 3 sets. And here's the thesis worth repeating. Walking simply cannot provide this specific kind of targeted muscle stimulus, no matter how many steps you take. And here we are, number 1. And honestly, most people wouldn't even call this exercise. Heel and toe raises, something you've probably done absent-mindedly your entire life without ever recognizing its value, but your ankle strength matters enormously. And there's a hidden concept behind it worth understanding: proprioception, your body's internal sense of where it is in space. As we age, this sense naturally declines, and that decline is directly connected to instability, tripping over uneven ground, and falls in general. Strengthening the ankle genuinely helps sharpen this internal awareness back up. There's a second benefit too: circulation. Your calf muscles act as a natural pump, pushing blood back up toward your heart with every contraction, which matters enormously for people who sit for long stretches. Here's how to do heel raises. Standing or seated with support nearby, rise up onto your toes slowly, hold briefly at the top, then lower back down with full control. Then, toe raises. Lift the front of your foot upward, heel staying planted, engaging the muscles along your shin. Keep everything slow, use the full range of motion, avoid bouncing or using momentum, and keep your upper body still throughout. Aim for 12 to 15 reps each direction, 2 to 3 sets. Many people discover one side is noticeably weaker than the other. If that's you, give that side a few extra reps to address the imbalance. This deceptively simple movement is genuinely a gateway to safer, more confident mobility. If this whole series helped you, like it, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which exercise surprised you most. So, here's what I want you to walk away with: these 5 exercises, done together, may genuinely offer more than walking alone ever could. And the best part? No gym, no expensive equipment, not even leaving your bedroom. Recap in order: knee extensions for quadriceps, hamstring curls for stopping power, pillow squeezes for stability, prone leg lifts for glutes, and heel-toe raises for balance and circulation. That order matters, building foundational strength up to balance. Done consistently, this supports your muscles, joints, balance, confidence, and quality of life. Check with your doctor first, especially after surgery or joint replacement. If this helped, subscribe. Thank you for spending this time with me.